my Auburn church family. We miss seeing each other, and I know I do, and I'm sure you do as well. And I'm glad that we're able to create the Connect groups where each Sunday we can virtually meet together. And thank you to the hosts for doing that for me. It's been a really difficult week, constant changes in our community with COVID-19. Within our church, our elderly are starting to self-isolate, and that's important for them to look after themselves. Some of our people have lost their jobs, which has been really difficult, and we're supporting them through that. And some of the parents have begun homeschooling, and that's been pretty interesting. I've seen some interesting things online about that. But you know, church, we are in unprecedented times at this time, and things that we've never really experienced before. And due to that, at the moment, steps have been taken in the natural due to this virus, that we have to make sure that we also match those steps in the supernatural, and that we make sure that we don't disrespect but respect the decisions made by the experts at this time, to honour those decisions, and to remember also that at this time we need to honour God in all that we do. You see, the enemy comes to rob, steal and destroy, but God has come to give us life, and life in his freedom. And you can read that in 1 John 10:10. To make sure that we're not being robbed, I want to challenge us today to think about the fact that I don't want to allow the enemy to diss you at this time. And you may think, what does diss mean? Well, at this time, it's important that we don't distance ourselves from each other. A church is a community of God's people, and we're a wonderful community here at Auburn. So I want to make sure that we keep connecting in whatever way we can. It's important that we don't disconnect from each other, but that we actually stay connected. It's important that we don't disappear, that we place ourselves in spaces that we can be seen, even if it's on a telephone, even if it's by a Zoom, even if it's FaceTime, whatever it is, but to make sure that we stand before each other some way. It's important that we don't allow ourselves to disengage, but we choose to engage in all that the church is offering at this moment in this very difficult time. And even though it's different and it's not something that we're used to, and maybe we're not even comfortable with it, we need to make sure that we step in to participate in whatever way that we can happen to engage with people. You know, you can call people, you can let them know that you've prayed for them, you can check in to see how they're going, you can speak life and encouragement over them, you can speak hope into their lives. You know, it's important that people know that we're with them in spirit, that God holds us all the time, and he's holding them right here, right now. And we, our leaders, are doing our best to keep feeding into you and to look for new ways, and look for new ways to invest in our kids as well. You know, secondly, it's not a time to disconnect from other people, and this crisis is actually a time for the church and Jesus' followers to reach out, to serve, to witness and to love. Just because we're not with each other, we can continue to share the love of God with each other in ways that probably we maybe have never thought about before, in ways that we never could have imagined. But, you know, we can do it, church. We can do it. And I'm excited to hear back from you those fun, creative ways that you can do that. You see, it is an amazing time, because this is the time when we can witness like we've never witnessed before. You have friends, you have colleagues, you have family, you have friends at uni, you have friends at TAFE. This is where we can connect with them. We can ask them, hey, listen, I really would love to pray with you if you'd like me to pray with you. People are concerned at this time, and it's important that we look for ways to connect. You know, the Salvation Army has probably done some of its best work within times of crisis. When there was wars, our chaplains went onto the soldiers of the front line. When there were floods or bushfires, our people went to volunteer to give food, to give comfort to other people. When there was a train disaster at Granville Station, the Salvation Army people went and comforted people and provided help and food to the rescuers. Crisis times are our time to serve. Church, it is a crisis time at this moment. It is critical, and it is important that we stay connected. This time is to reach out. We need to ask God for the courage to be positive, courage to seek God moments with people in any way we can, so that we can let them know that they're not alone, and that the church and each of us care for each other at this time. Both Pastor Edward and I had the opportunity to be able to go to Woolworths, and when it was opening from 7 to 8 for the elderly, as it continues to do. And while we were there, he went to one Woolworths, I went to another Woolworths, and I was there, and people were like, we were there just to help, and people were like, oh, are you collecting? I'm like, no, I'm not collecting. I'm just here to help you if you need any help, and, carry your shopping out for you or whatever. And people were just so surprised. But that's the time when we can be to support and help people. And so it's important that we don't disconnect from each other. And it's important that we don't disconnect from God. We can use this time to deepen our relationship with Jesus, that all that we do does count in the kingdom of God. So instead of disbelief at this time for what is happening, I want to encourage you to make sure you step up your belief in God, that he has this, that he is there for us, that we are not alone. Jesus said in John 14:1, he said, do not let your hearts be troubled. You believe in God, he said, believe in me also. We don't allow this to discourage us, but we have to have the courage to keep pressing into God at this time. Deuteronomy 31:6 says, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you and never forsake you. Continue each day, church, to engage with God, to seek him. Listen to music, read his word, spend time in prayer. It's important that we continue to keep our appointment with God each day. Just because we had to discontinue church, just because we had to discontinue groups, doesn't mean that we can't continue to connect with each other and connect with God. So remember, don't let the enemy diss you at the moment, but step into all that he has for you. I want to finish with our Bible reading that we're all going to be sharing today. It's from Psalm 121, and it says, I will lift up my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. He will not let your foot slip. He who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, he who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord watches over you. The Lord is your shade at night, at your right hand. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all harm, and he will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your coming and going, now and forevermore. Church, I continue to pray for you each day, and know that you are not alone, that you are important to us, and that you're important to God. Bless you.
He's done so much for me, I cannot tell it all. If I had 10,000
I continue to pray for you each day and know that you are not alone, that you are important to us and that you're important to God. Bless you.